Hello, my people. We are back. 4 hours later, something like that. And we are here with the ultimate money-making tier list, Anomic edition. But this is just jobs and stuff. There are many ways to make money, and there are many ways to make money in Anomic. And right now, I'm just going to be covering the jobs themselves, but I'm not actually going to be covering the external ones like the auto farms, that type of thing. But yeah, anyways. Let's start with the S tier. These are the true wealth generators. Let's go down. Starting with the mayor. This is obvious, and it should be obvious. Just being this role alone gives you so much influence in the server. You can call mass arrests. You can call all the government jobs to your position. You can fire government jobs, though that isn't really useful unless you're military. And it just so much more. And just people seeing the mayor automatically, it's like a magnet, right? You get $600 passive income every 5 minutes. You don't get any active income, but you do have handcuffs. So, I mean, hypothetically, you could go around arresting people, though that's not really recommended because, you only have a combat pistol that you spawn with, right? It's low effort, because the majority of the time you're going to be getting driven around in your limo by U.S. Marshals and things of that nature, bodyguards. You have bodyguards. You never really have to fight, and you're not supposed to be fighting. You're a public figure. The risk is medium. I almost put this in high, but I put it at medium just because of the amount of guards that you'll likely have, and you're gonna have money to pay them if it comes to that. So it's not really much risk when you have that much people with you. However, if just like a low player count or the server is more interested in doing something else, then this risk goes to high, especially if you have a group of people that target you specifically. Next, we have criminals with hot-wired printers. The criminal role by itself only pulls in $100 every 5 minutes. That is extremely mediocre. Actually, I'd say that's pathetic. $100 every 5 minutes is nothing in Anomic. However, with I believe it's 6 printers maximum, with all of them running and you collecting, you can get up to $144,000 an hour. That is utter madness. However, the effort is high because you do have to continue to collect the money, reset them, collect the money, reset them. You can't AFK farm unless you're an exploiter, right? The risk is also very high because if government jobs find you, then, you get arrested, things of that nature, right? And I do also believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it like the more you become wanted over and over, the higher like the payout is for an officer that arrests you? I don't know if that's incorrect or not. So I put this at very high though. People are like, if people see you printing, they're probably gonna mess you up just because of the type of game Anomic is. It's an anarchy game, and if the government sees you, then yeah. And I mean, the reason I put is that it has the fastest money printing method in Anomic and total black market dominance. You're a criminal, automatically you're gonna be in a faction like that. And I mean, most people don't even use criminal. They actually raid and things of that nature, but you know what I mean. Next, we have the paramedic with the combat raider build. You might be wondering, what does that mean? What is combat raider build? A combat raider build is a paramedic that uses its items in its team shop to raid other people's bases and kill others. For example, somebody uses their health booster to consistently heal in a fight while going around and killing people, rival groups, that type of thing. They're not just healing other people, they're actively participating in combat. Let's go over the stats for this stuff. $350 every 5 minutes is mediocre at best. It's nothing good in comparison to other government jobs. But you can make good income from the booster sales. You have stamina boosters and health boosters. Those are very good and sought after by raiders and just criminal groups in general. And the thing I would do if I were you, I would like set up a subscription based type of thing where every X amount of hours or minutes they pay you. No, it probably wouldn't be hours depending on how serious you're taking this. Probably like every 10 minutes or something. or yeah, what it's up to you. But then yeah, they'll pay you, and in exchange for that, you consistently give them their med kits and booster shells. However, for that method, you do already need to have a good amount of money so that you can continue to supply them. High effort, high risk. I say that because if you're running a combat raider build and you're participating in these stuff, then you have a high risk of losing your items if you die, which is why you probably shouldn't die. Not only that, but outside of the combat and losing your stuff, you also have the risk of not gaining profit when you're buying all this stuff and running around and killing people. If you die and you never get to sell the stuff that you just bought, or you just use it all in combat, then you're not making profit and you're in a deficit. Right? Now, last but not least, we have Safe 7, the money truck farming. Now, I put this here because while this is a good job, I wouldn't really say that it's the best of the best. You know? And you're gonna see why right now. It makes $250 every 5 minutes. That is considered extremely mediocre. You know, that's about the criminal level of mediocre when it comes to income. And then you have the active income, $2,000 to $10,000 per delivery. Per delivery, all right? Effort is high, risk is high. But if you know what you're doing, and this is why I say that if you want a job to commit to long term and also make good money from it long term, Safe 7 is the one to go to, because if you get good at it enough, you know, you have good enough aim, you know your routes, you know which routes to take and which routes not to take, you can make a consistent $10,000 per delivery, and that alone will be enough to sustain you for like a good, at least a couple game sessions, depending on how heavy you buy and if you're a combat. If you're a combat and you know you participate in a lot of combat, then that won't be enough. You're gonna have to probably continue to do that, and I mean, I don't really know how sustainable that is, but it's up to you, right? It all depends on your play style. But I still will put this at S tier. High stakes, high payout, requires planning and backup. Now we're in A tier. These are the consistent money makers. They make money consistently, but they're not elite. You won't get filthy rich off of this. You know what I mean? And just to be clear here, the thing that what defines a job that makes a lot of money and is a good job for making money for me in Anomic is a job that is low effort but high reward, which is why the mayor is first. $600 passively. You don't even have to do anything. If you want, you can AFK farm. It's against the rules, but you can do it. Anyways, we start off with the U.S. Marshals. My personal favorite government team. More so than even the mayor. Just because of how cool they are and, you know, the stuff that they get. But passive income is $400 every 5 minutes. That's not bad. It's not extremely good or the best of the best, but it's not bad. I definitely say it's good. The active income would be bounty hunting, which is just arresting wanted people, which you get about $400 per arrest with that. Medium effort, medium risk. I say medium risk because well, it was kind of hard for me to decide that, honestly. I had to put it at medium because I couldn't put it at high. And the main reason why I couldn't put it at high is because the thing is that when there's a mayor in the game, there's usually a lot of people that want to be around that mayor, and therefore they want to be on the U.S. Marshals team so they can be around that mayor. So you'll always have backup with you majority of the time. And if you don't, even then, you spawn with a light vest. You can buy a tactical SMG, which in my experience is extremely powerful, and you have a combat pistol. You can't go wrong with those two things. You know, so I mean, the risk is medium for you, depending on if you have a group. If you don't have a group though, the risk is high. Effort is medium. I mean, the bounty hunting isn't really that hard in my experience. You know, you just find somebody that's wanted, chase them down. If they pull out a gun, kill them. Simple as that. Next, we have the sheriff department. $400 every 5 minutes. Same as the U.S. Marshals. No problem with that. Same thing with the active income bounty hunting. Just arresting penal. Okay, I did. Just please ignore that. Please ignore that. Medium effort, medium risks for the exact same reason as the U.S. Marshals, except that if there's no mayor in the game, which most of the time there isn't because everybody usually just votes no, then everybody's gonna. If you want to be an officer, then you have to be on the sheriff's department or you have to be SWAT. Most people end up being on sheriff's department because they don't want to buy SWAT. Solid income through arrest, great for beginners. That's what I started off with, and then eventually I fell in love with this, and I've just been using it ever since. It got to the point where I don't even want to. If I join and it says there's no mayor in the game, I can't be U.S. Marshal. I just server hop. I just, you know. All right. Next, you have delivering $300 every 5 minutes. The active income for this is delivering contracts, medium effort, low risk. I mean, yeah, you just have to do your job pretty much. Put medium effort because you know what you sign up for. That's what you get. It's nothing too crazy. This controls the server supply chains and passive influence on the economy. Now we have the trucker next. Same passive income. $300 every 5 minutes. Mediocre. $500 to $3,000 per delivery. Now, this depends on the contract that you choose, but gas contracts, I believe, pull in a lot, right? Medium effort, low risk. Nobody really targets truckers aside from like griefers and stuff, and they stabilize gas prices and good steady income. Every time we do a gas contract, it actually lowers the gas prices in the server for everyone. Crafter, $150 every 5 minutes. Very low, but you do get very high income because of the illegal items that you get. You get so much things: armor, C4 drills, and lockpicks. Like, bro, the black market is always popping with this. High effort, high risk though, because of the stuff that you have. People do tend to kill you a lot, you know, or they just tend to see you and kill you because like they associate you with criminals, you know. Car dealer, active sales. By active sales, I mean actively selling. $150 passive income. That's nothing. That's not the point of the job, though. Is not to sit around and get passive income. You get moderate active income. It depends on the car you sell. Couldn't put an exact price tag on it. High risk. Not high risk. High effort though, because I mean you have to continually be talking to people, selling cars, things of that nature, going around offering. I mean, if you're a very extroverted person, then I'll probably put this down in about medium to low. But for most people, it's going to be high. Low risk. Nobody really kills car dealers because they need them, and there's nobody really becomes a car dealer to grief or raid. These are perfect for economy manipulators and profitable with repair kit spam. Let's go on to the next slide. Now we have the B tier. These are the decent jobs, but you have to work for them. They don't just come to you. It's not going to be easy to do. Next, we have the military, right? We have $500 every 5 minutes passive income. I put this in B tier because yeah, this is good, but the only thing that you have is just the income, and not only that, and this is the main reason why I put it B tier actually, but the risk is extremely high. People see the military and automatically they know that they're not just here to be here. They're here to, establish law and order. So most criminals just tend to kill them on sight. So you have very high risk, and by extension, you have very good armor to protect you from that risk. But same thing. High effort though. You can't just AFK around because after a certain point, then the mayor uncalls the military. So you can't just like leave your computer here, like leave something on your space bar, just keep jumping and just AFK farm because eventually the mayor's gonna recall the military. Tow trucker though, $250 every 5 minutes. However though, actually, I don't know if you get kicked out of the role. If you don't get kicked out of the role, then will definitely be higher. Oh no, I have to do more research on that. Tow trucker though, $250 every 5 minutes. $1,000 to $1,500 per vehicle. Now the risk on this actually should probably be higher because people do really hate tow truckers in this game, and I really don't know why. I don't see why you would even hate tow truckers. I don't see the issue with them. I've never had any problem with them. Just like don't park your car in front of people's bases or something. Medium effort, medium risk. But I mean, realistically, it's probably like high to very high risk. But I just put medium because most of the time people don't really care. Or just pull up, grab their car, go. They shoot, nothing really happens unless they're really good with aiming. Solid passive plus active money if you love scavenging abandoned cars. Now we have the civilian team with printers. Now with the simple printers, and this goes for the criminals as well, but I put it for the civilian because this is really the only good money making method for it. You can make up to 72K an hour with the simple printers. You have low effort and just stand around, AFK farm. Grab your stuff, because I mean the thing is that it's every 5 minutes you can collect the max income from them. So just go on your phone or something if you're that dedicated. AFK farming at its finest, best for semi-active players. Now we have paramedic. These are the people that actually do their jobs. They're pure healers. They actually do their jobs. You get $350 every 5 minutes. Moderate via healing. You don't really get that much income, but I mean, if you can sell medkits to people and health boosters, then yeah. But even though I mean, well, this one you actually probably wouldn't. You'd just be healing people, asking them to maybe pay you if anything. Medium effort, low risk. People don't usually kill you, so put it at that. Next, now you have C tier. These are just the ones that make you little to no money at all. Right. So let's see here. We got the passive income, $400 every 5 minutes. This is the cook, by the way, the actual cook. Low via food sales. You don't really get much active income from this unless you just sell food. But it depends at the end of the day how much you decide to price your food. But yeah, you'll see why in a minute. Medium effort, low risk. Nobody's killing cooks. Effort is medium because I mean you just have to go in the back of your plot, cook up something, come back out, serve it to them, charge them. Simple. Go about your day. Same thing. Repeat. All right. High salary, but the food rarely sells outside of events, and that's just the truth. The salary is pretty good, but outside of that, there's no real way to make money, and there's so many other better ways to make money that I wouldn't really consider this. Now we have the legit cab driver. This is something that is rarely even seen aside from car bombing nowadays in Anomic. Like you rarely even see cabs being used. You get $120, I believe. I don't know how often it is. It didn't really say from what I could see. You get low active income from the fares, depending on how far you have to drive them. High effort because you're having to drive around the entire map, drive these people around the entire map, and maybe even hold a conversation with them depending on if they talk to you. Low risk because most people don't really kill cab drivers unless they think they're about a car bomb. And I mean, it's actually pretty funny. I actually like car bombing, but let's continue. Next, you have the cab driver car bombing. You don't really get any passive income from this. However, the active income you get is emotional value. It's just actually really funny. All right, you just hear it coming. You just see everybody start running out the way. It's just so hilarious, especially if like something serious is going on. It's just hilarious. S tier for trolling, C tier for actually money making. Then last but not least, actually probably least, we have the machete meme build for the cook. This is just something like, you just take out the machete as a cook and you just go around and troll people. Simple as that. Low effort, high risk because, people are obviously going to try and kill you. Simple. Yeah, I mean, legendary for chaos, but not for cash. Next. These are my role recommendations for you based on your playstyle. Money farming, I would either pick the mayor or the criminal with printers. Whatever your cup of tea is. If you want to be more active and engaged, I would choose the mayor. If you want to just AFK, stand around, criminal. High stakes PvP, meaning you like high intensity gunfights. I would choose the paramedic combat build because of just how good it is for that type of thing. I'll just choose criminal. Go rob the bank or something, and simple. Logistics and economy, I'll choose either deliverant or trucker. Both of these actively affect the economy every delivery you do. So I mean, if that's something that you're into, I'll do that. If you want passive legal money, now I'll choose a tow trucker or the safe 7. Both of these do bring in a decent amount of income, along with the fact that if you complete their actions, and that's even more. If you want fast illegal cash, I'll choose the criminal with top wide printers, because I mean, there's really no better way to do that, right? Roleplay immersion, sheriff, U.S. Marshal, or paramedic. I could also put the military on here, but most people just attack the military, And ultimate chaos would be the cook machete build or the cab driver bombings. Next, my final thoughts. Do you want money fast or no effort? Play mayor or as a civilian with the printer farm. I put civilian with the printer farm because it's low effort, low risk. Most people won't really suspect you. But if you do get caught, then you're kind of messed. kind of fucked. You're kind of fucked. You know, quite frankly. Want to live fast and die rich? Run the criminal role with hot wire printers and make obscene money if you survive. This is the overall best way to make money in Anomic, actually. Just wanted to point that out. Want stability and consistent action? Stick to US Marshals or Sheriffs for steady bounties and RP influence. It's in there. Want to control the economy, become a deliverer or crafter, and manage the service supply of critical items. Just here for the chaos, but cook or cab gyre, grab a machete or C4 and go down in flaming glow. In bonus, the endgame meta, combine the mayor for AFK farming, criminal for illegal cash flooding, and paramedic for unbeatable battlefield sessions to dominate every aspect of Anomic's economy and server politics. And by that, I mean have one of these on your team. One of each of these on your team, and you're unbeatable pretty much. But anyways, thank you for watching. Tune in next time, and I'll see y'all in future videos.